Hello everybody, this video is going to be a quick video on copying your key to a Unix host. So if I already had a key, I wouldn't have to do this, but since I'm going to use the user that doesn't have a key, I'm going to have to generate a key. So let's do this. As you just saw there are no keys. So I'm going to use SSH keygen, and I'm just going to use the default, so it's usually .ssh and it's IDRSA. I need a passphrase. So now I've generated my key, and if I have a look at the tree there, I have my public key, I have my private key, and I still have the known hosts. So the known host files is a file that whenever I connect to this server, it's going to copy the keys so my desktop is in the known host key file. So let's have a look at this, see what everything is there. So I have my private key, which I should never give to anybody, my public key, and the known host. So what I want to do now is I'm going to use another utility. We used to have to do this manually. This is a very nice utility, but what I want to do is I want to copy my key to a user ID on another host, and I want to copy it to pcampbell@sonic. It's one of my default domains, so I don't need to put it in, but I'll do it anyway. So I want to be able to use the SSH key as the authentication when I connect to Sonic. So what I need to do here is use copy ID, give it the host name and user ID. And now I need to give my password for Sonic. And what it's saying is the source of the key is the current user. And I'm going to log into Sonic. So I have to authenticate at Sonic in order to copy it. So what's my password? Let me try and remember. So now it says try logging into the machine. So now when I log in, it should use my key and not my user ID pass. It should use my key for authentication and encryption and not just my password. So before I gave it my public key, what it did was it was using user ID password by default. So it'll first try if you have keys, it'll try keys. And then if you don't have keys, it'll try user ID password. So let me SSH over there. And there's two ways to do your user ID. I can either do pcampbell. I often forget to do it. So I can use L for the user ID. Otherwise, what it's going to do is it's going to take my default user, which is Sue, and Sue doesn't exist on Sonic. So now I need my passphrase for my public key. And I've authenticated to Sonic. So now I'm in on Sonic. So what it did was instead of using user ID password, it used my key. And if I look at Sonic here, so in Sonic I have a few other things in there, but that's Sonic's public key. And so IDRSA is Sonic's public pub is Sonic's public key. Oh, that should be file. So I put that history in there, but I have the authorized key file, so anybody who's connected, and I have known hosts. So let's have a look at what's in there. So that copied over from known hosts is where I had automatically copied, and I have authorized keys. Notice here's the last key that I added, Sue at teachercampbell.ca. So the user ID Sue, her key is now available. Public key is here. This is the public key for Sue. So that's what I just added. So now whenever I connect to Sonic from the user ID Sue, let's just do it again. I can do pcampbell@sonic just to do something different. Again, I need my public key password, not the user ID for Patricia. It's for pcampbell. And I'm in. So now whenever I want to log on to that system, it'll be using my keys for authentication and for encryption. Whereas before I put my key on there, it was using user ID password authentication, and the key for encryption. Thanks for watching.